here all night otherwise. Let's just get to it, shall we? All right. And here we go. We, technically I, are back. Hello, folks. How are you all? Just give me a second. I'm trying to get comfortable here. Hi. It is I alone. Hope you all had a lovely week. It's been interesting here, to say the least. Just me tonight. We've been in some talks, and we'll see how it goes. I know we miss Krista already. Very sad. But I'm sure she's not necessarily missing me. That's right, she will be. She will be at some point, you'll see. Anyway, moving right along. Yeah, there's going to be some good surprises, maybe some changes coming up. We'll see how it all works out. We're working on some things here on this end. So we're pretty excited about that, and we'll see where it all leads to. At some point or another. It is just to get on moving, as I would hear her in the back of my head saying, get on moving. It's the 6th of October. It is a Wednesday. I'm a day behind. Why am I a day behind? I stayed up late. That's pretty funny. I stayed up. I didn't even stay up. I was up anyway. What is wrong with me? I watched the Yankee game last night. That's what I was doing. And I was in no mood afterwards for anything or anybody in any way, shape, and or form. I don't know. They hire a guy, they pay him, what, $35 million, $350 million, $200. Now, who the hell knows how ridiculous amounts of money they pay guys for just such a moment. This is why you were paid. And it didn't work out. The starting pitcher for the Yankees, their ace, their number one guy, was gone by the third inning. Did not bode well. And that's pretty much how it turned out. They lost. So much for that. That was pretty much it as far as baseball's concerned. I doubt. I mean, maybe I'll watch the World Series. It's probably going to be about it. I may record, like whatever the pennant is. The pennants are for each side. Maybe I'll record those and zip through the commercials because who can watch the whole damn thing? Maybe I'll do that, but that's about it for baseball. Go Yankees. Darn. Anyway, so that's the end of that. But that's what I was doing last night. I forgot what time it was over, but at that point I was like, it just was my thinking. This weekend, speaking of sports that have really nothing to do with golf whatsoever, the Mr. Olympia. I forgot where they hold it. Columbus, Ohio, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe that's where they have the Arnold Classic. I don't know. I'm not quite remembering the exact specifics. I just know the Olympia is this weekend, and evidently there was also a surprise death of one of the competitors. I didn't take the moment to jot his name down. I didn't even know. I came across it on another video I was watching that popped up on my YouTube feed. The Olympia is this weekend, and I'm like, oh, okay. Let's check in with this guy. You know, it was like a 7 or an 8 minute. What's the deal? 2 days out of the Olympia, which is cool. I'll look into that. And it started out with this guy just, out of nowhere passed away. Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. Boy, that guy's a piece of work. But you kind of knew back in the day when he was a young guy, he was going to end up being a piece of work. But even he has now supposedly come out against the open bodybuilding division of the Olympia. Evidently, these guys really, in all fairness, are, you think, brain trouble with football players. These guys are starting to drop like flies. And, they're all just getting into all kinds of serious trouble. They bolt up way too much, lift way too much weight. And I don't know how, X number of these guys can make money anyway. Bodybuilding is still really not mainstream. These guys are out of control, though. I got to tell you, in the open division, holy moly. This year it's Nick Walker versus Big Ramy. It's going to be interesting to see. But anyway, point being, this is not good for these guys. I don't know how they're going to get them out of an open division. That's where whatever money I'm guessing there is in the sport there is. How many times a year can you get in this kind of shape? The short answer is, for most guys, not many. And what are you doing? Pushing supplements, selling T-shirts, and what have you. It's a tough one. But at some point, they probably do need to lose the open division. It's just, these guys are really messing themselves up. And you see all the recent champions, and they've just, they're not in particularly great shape. Particularly great shape. Some of them look really good. I stumbled across another forum, I guess, a bunch of guys on the stage, and they just had a bunch of guys from back in the day when I was young enough and fit enough to actually go to the gym. And this is, a long time ago. Let's leave it at that. So these were guys that I knew from back in the day. I attended one contest. I did attend one professional bodybuilding contest. They had it at Times Square. What theater was it? I'm never gonna remember. Between 6th and Broadway. Not the New York Theater. I'm never going to remember. It's not important. Anyway, it was 100,000 years ago I went. That's the deal. For those of you that are interested in it for whatever reason, the Olympia is this weekend. Have I complained about the weather yet? I guess it's time to do that. I did play Saturday. It was ugly. We could probably leave it at that. Where, I won't, but we probably could and should. After playing the 2 days in a row, first time all season I did that. First time in who knows how many years I did that. And came out of it, much better for playing the second day. 6 days later, forget about it. Remember, I was couldn't miss hit 12 or 14 fairways, but couldn't hit an iron shot. The next day, I didn't hit quite as many fairways, but I was able to hit some iron shots. And I was, hopeful leading into this weekend. Hopeful, I say. And it was ugly from the get-go. I just started yanking everything, and I couldn't hit a fairway. So once that was taken out of the equation right off the get-go, everything else, what's the opposite of fell neatly into place? Scrambled all over the place. It reminds me of a story. I'm going to move along. We are playing this weekend. We are stuck at not stuck. I like Eisenhower Red course. We are at Eisenhower Red. Late, very late, and we're only playing very late for us because, again, I scrambled and ran back in after I got rejected. I figured at Eisenhower I'd be good to go. Bethpage, I got completely shut out. Rarely happens, but it does. Hit the button, and maybe I was a microsecond too early because, I know when to hit the button. and I hit the button as normal, but I might have been, again, just a nanosecond too soon because I got the, date slash time not available yet kind of thing. I was like, ah, crap. Hit it a second time. By the time that popped up, it offered me one time. I'm trying to remember what course I was looking for. I was probably assigned the red course for Bethpage. And we all go for the red course at Eisenhower if we're going for Eisenhower because we rather not play the white or the blue. I've played the white. It's, the white and the blue, they're just, kind of flat, and they raise the tees a little bit, and they raise some greens and threw some bunkers in them and what have you. I've never played the blue. I have played the white a couple of times, and it's, it's straight right out there. It's not hiding anything from you. No great trick. And then again, neither is any other course. You hit the ball straight, and you're good to go. Pretty simple. Or with a nice fade or draw as needed, as I prefer to do it. Anyway, the point was that it reminded me of a story. A guy's playing poorly. So he goes to seek help from a pro. And they get on the range, and he starts off hitting, short iron, his wedges and what have you. And the pro's just standing there as this guy's hitting, and the balls are going all over the place. And the pro's just looking, standing there and going, that's the loft. And, okay, the guy kind of looks at him and goes, I'm playing these clubs. And he moves on in the bag, and now he's hitting mid-irons. And scattershot all over the place, terrible, just no good whatsoever. And the pro's standing there with his arms folded behind him, looking at him going, that's the loft. So now he takes out the fairway woods and the hybrid. He starts hitting those. And, not worth a damn. Just nothing. Pro standing there. It's the loft. Guy moves on to the driver. And he's like, bottoming out and just sending stuff straight up in the air. It's a horrible situation. And there's the pro standing going, it's the loft. And the guy finally drops the club down, looks at the pro and goes, what did it have to do with loft? And the pro looks at him and goes, loft, lack of freaking talent. Okay, I can hear Chris, I can hear her groaning. Off in the distance, there's a groan coming from her. But it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Moving right along. Oh, fun little story. I just this evening came back from taking a Narcan. What would you call it when you give someone Narcan? Application? A Narcan application course that was given by one of our town councilmen here around the area. It was very informative. It was about 45 minutes. And long story short, we learned how to use Narcan in the unfortunate event that we need to. The specifics, what to look for. It's different than the CPR for a cardiac arrest. You're looking for different things. But it just seemed to make sense to connect that when I received the mailing that they were giving it a couple of different times locally. They said, gee whiz, I've got a, multi-$1,000 freaking defibrillator in the trunk. Minding my own business, driving along the highways and the byways, there would probably be more need for Narcan than there would be for me to pull out the defibrillator. So probably just good knowledge to have, bottom line. So I did. I went, I signed, I called in, I signed up, I went, and we actually received 2 dosages of Narcan, 4 milligrams, I guess. I'm not sure how they measure it. Evidently, years ago when they started with it, the dose was with a needle, and they would just take a big needle and shove it deep into your leg. It was 1 milligram. And then there was evidently after that, up until about 3 or 4 years ago, if I have my years straight, from what they said, my short-term memory, we all know how that works. Um, it used to come in a kit. So if you needed to use the Narcan, you had it literally, it was like 3 or 4 pieces. You had to put this thing together. Can you imagine that? You're kneeling over somebody on the ground. You know you're losing them. They're going bye-bye, and they're not coming back unless you get this thing in there. I guess it was still a nasal spray. I don't even know what the 3 thing was. Was the 3 thing with a needle? Or the 3-part thing was a spray also? Damned if I don't remember. Anyway, point being, they've now come to the point where it's 4 milligrams, and it's in this real neat, easy to use little thing you just shove in the person's nose, and it's got a plunger on it, and you go and you shoot the whole dose in there, and you should see something almost semi-immediately, which I thought was very interesting. Anyway, that was the point that I just figured I'd share that. CPR man is also Narcan man now. So hopefully I won't never use it, but as long as I've got the defib in the trunk, I might as well throw the Narcan in there, just in case, because hey, you never know. Okay, so, shall we talk tours? Look at me, I'm like moving right along here. I'm still waiting for my net to show up. My setup is beautiful. I'm very happy with it. I'm probably like wrecking my tennis elbow with it for the foreseeable future. But it's like, it's like, doesn't really bother me so much when I'm not like lifting or squeezing. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna try and go easy on it if the net ever shows up. I think they said the shipping was supposed to be around the 11th, but I mentioned last week, they sent out a whole thing about, normally the port of Long Beach, you bring your container ship in and it's gone, and there are 80 container ships backed up in the water now that they can't get in there. Anyway, I'm hoping it'll show up soon. I'm over lightly chipping the ball into memory foam pillows. It's not quite as much fun as a 3/4 swing, which unfortunately is all I'll be able to take because the ceiling here is low. Although I could move it into, if I didn't have the car in the garage, I might be, no, now that I think about it, probably not. Garage is probably about the same height. You know what the problem is? The ceilings are low. There's only one ceiling where, only one room in the house that I reside in that's got a bit of a vaulted ceiling where I could actually swing any club I wanted to. And between you, me, and the wall, I've got my board with my standing mat. I've got my little flight deck thingamabob. That and the 15-pound net. And I could technically set up very easily, very quickly in the one room in the house that's got enough of a vaulted ceiling that I can actually swing any club. But that's not going to happen because I'm going to leave it to you to guess what room in the house that is, and if I ever shanked one and bounced it off a couple of walls, I'd be in deep doo-doo, to say the least. Mrs. G would not be a happy clam. You know what they say, happy wife, happy life. I'll drink to that. Anyhow. Yes, I'm waiting for the net to show up. The point being here, I will, if I took a full swing, I would, crash into the ceiling. And I've actually kind of sort of done that before. And the only problem that has arisen with my lovely setup, I probably mentioned this a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever ago. The flight deck, a very neat item. It's a oval piece about, I don't know, maybe 20 inches across and 12 or so in 14 inches the other way in an oval. as I just mentioned, and it's nice stuff. It hits real nice. It does. I haven't like gone after it completely yet because I don't have the room to. But it seems nice. It doesn't seem to hit you hard on the hands. It gives nicely. We'll see how it works when I can swing a little bit bigger. Again, the point being, I'm only going to be able to swing so large because I hit the ceiling. And unfortunately for the flight deck, it is thick between the base and the actual fake grass. It is 1 3/4 inches off the ground. That, my friends, is HUGE. You can't come in the car with me. You're huge. Oh my God, you're huge. That's a big difference. You don't want to be standing and hitting at a ball 1 3/4 inches above your feet all the time. That's how you will get used to swinging. And then when you get on, something as ridiculous as a level lie on a golf course, you will be a post toasty. You will be in deep doo-doo, which is why I went online and looked for the thickest standing mat. I mean, I can probably hit off it also. I will not, because I just, will not. But I use it as a standing mat. But it was about 1.25 inches thick. And I said, okay, 1.25 inches thick, not bad. And then I stopped and I said, I need 1.75 inches. And at the light bulb moment, I go, oh, 1/2 inch plywood. I went through all of this, didn't I? Yeah, I probably did. Went to Home Depot 2 times. I didn't have anybody there. The first time, they cut me a piece of 1/2 inch plywood to match my standing mat. Son of a gun, I step on that, I am 1 3/4 inches off the ground. That's the good news when it relates to the flight deck. It and I are now on a level playing field, which is perfect. That's the good news. Bad news, it puts me 1 3/4 inches closer to the ceiling. And I did not have 1 3/4 inches to give. So we'll have to see how that works out when, if ever, I get my Spornia junior net, or whatever they call it. It's the 5.5-foot version, not to be confused with the 7-foot version. Oh, and I did get in touch with them. Interestingly enough, there's an optional hood you can buy that extends over the top just in case you should really get under one. It will catch it. I was confused about the item that I had bought, the little smaller 5.5-foot version. There were pictures of it that had a net, had a hood, but I couldn't find, like, if you wanted to buy one separately, blah, blah, blah. So I sent them a note. They were very kind, and they responded back. It seems the hood on the smaller version is actually included because it's sewn right into the net. So I am looking forward to, at some point, hopefully, receiving my Spornia net. We will pop it up, open it up, and we will let y'all know how it works. PGA Tour. I am refocusing. Sanderson Farms. Last week, Sam Burns was your winner. This week, the Shriners Hospital for Children Open. That means anybody that's good enough can play. That will not be me. I'm not good enough. Oh, God, I'm not looking forward to Saturday. Saturday, last I saw, cloudy, a high of 68 with a 15 to 25 mile an hour east wind, meaning where I am, flat off the ocean. It's going to be evidently lovely-ish tomorrow, mid-70s, tomorrow and Friday. I will not be playing tomorrow or Friday, although maybe, oh God, should I sneak out tomorrow? I'm really close to pretty done for the season. At this point, I can see the way the weather's going. I'll go on Saturday. I just assume punk out, but I'll go because, the boys will be unhappy if I don't go. It's not quite enough of a reason to punk out. I can only claim to be so delicate, if you know what I mean. So I'll play on Saturday. I don't know, maybe I'll get up tomorrow morning and pop in Oh wait, now that I think about it, I think tomorrow's an issue. They might be having something going on at the Red in Eisenhower. That was the problem. I was just checking randomly for times because sometimes I'm on the computer. I just check randomly for times, even though I have no intention of taking any. Administer. Administer. Yeah, there it is. You know, it takes me a while, but for some odd reason, it always pops on in there. When we're talking about the Narcan, I'm using the Narcan. No, I couldn't come up with the word, which is why I went to use. Not that anybody would have known if I hadn't said it, but you know, I always have to fess up when I would be administering the Narcan. Oh, God, I'm a funny guy. Anyhow, okay, so there you go. This week, the Shriners Open. The Europeans, the Dunhill Links was last week. Danny Willett, God, I haven't heard from Danny Willett since when? Since he won the Masters out of absolutely nowhere. I'm trying to remember who he beat. Did he beat Bubba Watson to win the Masters? I don't know. I have no clue. Anyway, Danny won the Dunhill Links. Good for him. This week they are playing the Open de España. Okay, I guess we know where that's going to be. I wonder if they play that at Valderrama. I do not know. Ladies, the LPGA ShopRite Classic was last week. Celine Boutier was your winner. Congrats to her. This week they're playing the Founders Cup. I wonder if that has anything to do with the ladies that originally started the LPGA Tour. I have a woman who I am LinkedIn buddies. I always get yelled at, Mrs. G. They're not your friends. I call them LinkedIn buddies. What can I tell you? One of the, I don't know if just quite the original, but right up there, having played the LPGA for a really long time. It might be Jane Blaylock. I'm not entirely sure, but I should probably get her on a call with us. She must have some great stories to tell. I'd love to hear some of that stuff. I'll try to remind myself to take a look and see what I can do. Anyway, so yeah, they're playing the Founders Cup this week. The champions, 2 weeks ago, 9/26, I guess it was, or a week and change ago, whatever the hell it was. They had the Pure, remember I forgot to look up what the champions were doing, I just didn't do it. Anyway, it seems they were playing the Pure Insurance Championship. KJ Choi was your winner. This week, the Constellation, Furyk, and Friends. I'm guessing it has something to do with Constellation, which is the spirit and beverage and flower, aka Mary Jane, aka the Evil Weed company. And I guess it involves Jim Furyk and some of his buddies. So there you go with that. That brings us up to date on the tours. Okay, let's take a pause. Okay, pause over. What do we got? I got a list. You know I got a list. Oh, this Ryder Cup nonsense. They're still being snippy about it. I don't know what's with what's his face? Where did it go? Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry is like looking for trouble. Why do you don't poke the bear? Is that the term? You don't poke the giant. I don't know, whatever it is. But evidently he was going on again about whatever they did or did not have to put up with at the Ryder Cup this year. And I mean, talk about asking for trouble. Evidently he opens his mouth and he goes, oh yeah, when they asked him about what the deal is going to Beth Page. Beth Page is going to be like 100 times worse. Okay. Really, Shane? Do you really want to go there? Number one, Shane, why on earth would you ask for trouble? Right off the get-go. Why would you even start? Why would you poke the bear? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. I was thinking what they should do is before the Ryder Cup, they should hand out buttons to everybody that gets there. And the buttons should say something like, I don't know, show some class. How about that? Hopefully, oh God willing, I use that just as a term, not that I really expect God is willing, but hopefully the Europeans will be able to travel at that point. And there'll be a little more, a little more evenness in the crowd, which I think would probably help balance things out. Again, yeah, there's always going to be it's the alcohol, people. I've said this a zillion times. Outlaw alcohol, make everybody smoke weed, or vape weed, or vape flower, or whatever the terminology is these days. You'd have a really chill crowd. I think that would be totally the way to go. No more nonsense. Although they can get away with in the hole. I'm okay with that nonsense. Anytime anybody wants to scream in the hole, because I've gotten to taking it almost as a habit whenever I hear anyone on a golf telecast scream in the hole, I always have to sit there like an idiot and say, podcast. I just do, okay? I just do. Sue me. Anyhow, but why would you even go there? Why would you start up with us right off the get-go? That's just so dumb. Anyway, yeah, that would be really nice if we could, not do that. But they're going to be serving alcohol, and we all know what alcohol does. So I guess, and you can't do the whole, I don't know, they're still going to be throwing people out for going, hey, Brooksy. If DeChambeau is everybody's hero now. He goes out, hits a couple of 400-yard drives, finishes 8th in the long drive contest, which, by the way, in all fairness, that's a lot of work. He hits a lot of golf balls. I don't know what his back is going to be like, X number of years from now. It's going to be like Alien, but not from the chest, from the back. It's all going to just explode one day. But you know what? He's got the speed naturally to begin with. And he did the work, and he finished 8th in the professional long drive world championships. So kudos for that. I got to give it to him. But, guy's no different than the guy that everybody wanted to kill. 3 weeks before you had the Ryder Cup and the long drive thing. But I don't know. I don't make the news. I just pass it on. We're doing something a little different this evening. We are actually doing a video of this show. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably throw it up there. Let's rephrase that. Throw it out there somewhere. We actually do have a YouTube channel. You can find us at Hit 'em Straight Productions. That's HITEM. Get it? Hit 'em Straight. Golf oriented, huh? I thought of that one all by myself. Anyway, you can find us on YouTube at, I believe, Hit 'em Straight Productions. There are a couple of things there that actually have nothing to do with golf. But there are some real pretty girls. And there's one video we did a couple of years ago for a game show that we were working on. We thought we had some sponsorship, and then as we were like ready to do a deal or something, the CEO got caught in a sex scandal. And, really? Really? It's just, we were ready to then, and all this good. We were going to put it together. We were going to rock. We were going to roll. We were going to bring it on. And then, like, literally 2 days before, this big thing breaks. Like, okay. That is, they say, was the end of that. Anyhow. Whatever. Let's move along. The point was, we're doing a little video. We'll see what we do with it. I have a couple of more things on my list. We may cut this evening a little bit shorter than usual. I know that's not easy for me to do because I do so enjoy spending time with everybody. I do indeed. But I don't know. I don't know from this video nonsense, so we'll have to see how it all plays out. But I must say, the reason I'm looking to delve at this point is because I see some ridiculous shit on YouTube that gets absurd amounts of views. It's just, crazy. I have a niece, I think she put on a 20-minute video on YouTube of her combing her hair, brushing her hair, whatever. That was it. And, she had about 75,000 views. I'm like, people, really? This is all you have time to be doing? But you know what? That's where they are. That's where they are. And I'm, okay with it. If you do what you got to do. And see how it plays out. So anyway, yeah, the point being, the thing that really got me going, I think I need to change the ink. My printer seems to be running a tad low. That's okay. I actually ordered a thing of ink, and I'm sure the post office will do their best to do what they do with every other package that's either coming to me or going from me. They will manage to lose it. In the last 2 weeks, 4 items that were either coming or going. Well, I told you they lost my Jan Craig head cover. It never made it to Jan Craig, and I, the idiot, because I looked online and saw that the expected delivery was, like the next day. I said, okay, they got it together, they're good. 2 weeks later, never heard. Got in touch with Jan Craig. Hi guys, where's my head cover? And they're like, what head cover would that be? I'm like, oh, that's great. Not technically the end of the world, because my new driver, as I know I've mentioned this in the past, the tungsten weight in the back has sharp edges on it, and when you try and put on and take off the head cover, it catches. So I just spent a small fortune on a brand new, spanking brand new, official, one-of-a-kind Jan Craig head cover that actually will have embroidered in it Mr. Golf, one-of-a-kind, made especially for me. That's about a ½ inch wider than usual, and I am hoping, against hope, that it will go ahead and slide on to my G425 driver head with no muss and no fuss, because it's knit, and if it's catching either which way, it's going to end up ultimately just tearing itself to smithereens. So that I am looking at a very expensive sock for my foot, with a big 8-inch palm on the bottom. It's going to be really nice though, black, and you know me with color on the golf course, the only color I can seem to tolerate, which is not even a favorite color of mine, but it's the only one I can seem to tolerate on the golf course, which is orange. So it's going to be a black sleeve. The pom-pom on the top is going to be orange, white, and black, tricolor, really nice. And the Mr. Golf will be knitted in lovely orange letters. So I'm excited and hopeful. Hopeful, I hope it's going to work. I'm excited to see that. I probably would have ordered it anyway because, like I said, CPR man was getting caught. It was not a good thing. I just hope, I guessed. I mean, how can you, you look and you try and figure if it were a little wider here, a little wider there, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure I'm going to get it, try to slide it on. It's going to hook immediately, and I'm going to be like, crap. But let's go for the glass half full this time, shall we? Let's say I'm going to get it, and darn it, it's going to work just fine. Huh? How about that? Are we good with that? Okay, fine. That reminds me, articles that look for a problem where none exists. This one kind of ticked me off the other day. Oh, real quick, I'll get back to that. Real quick, a quick shout out to Alejandro Del Rey. He's a guy who for the first time shot 14 under par. He shot a 58, the first time on any pro tour Somebody has shot a 58. Now, before you all start screaming, wait, Jim Furyk, da-da-da-da-da-da. Hold on to that, because this guy, Alejandro, shot 14 under, meaning he shot a 58 on a par 72 golf course, not a 71 or a 70. He shot a 58, first time on any pro tour, on a par 72 golf course. So, raising a glass, that's a feat, I must say. For a game that's been played, well, actually, they have so many versions. I'm not going to get into it now. I promised I was going to kind of shorten things up this evening a little bit. I'm not going to get into a whole golf history thing. I'm not even going to start. How about that? I'm just going to move along back to my list. Brooks Koepka. Evidently, Brooksy likes to curse at the rules officials. Something about, I don't know, his ball was near a root, or I don't know what the kerfluffle was about, but evidently he was looking for relief and didn't get it. I could be wrong about that. I just know what the part I remember hearing about was what he said to them, and something along the lines that if I break my wrists here, it's your blanking, insert F word here, your blanking fault. Really, Brooksy? that's saying Brooksy to the real Brooksy. These people are out there probably volunteering to do this so you can make your millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you're going to curse them out. Why, Brooksy? Just out of curiosity. I have not used my new rangefinder. I'm going to this weekend. It did show up. The mail managed to get me that. Thank goodness. I don't mind if they lose my sleeve of golf balls. I'm doing a comparo. I'm going to try at any rate. I've, heard it and seen it so many gazillions of times, and usually I just play with what I find. But over the last few weeks, I decided, also since I ended up selling 24 golf balls. Why? Because I don't go through the ones I play. I have taken to the TaylorMade TP5 Picks version. The reason I've gone with the Picks, they say the reason to use the Picks is it helps when the ball rolls. You can see the roll of the ball and all this other whatever good it does. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't seem to notice it one way or the other. When I hit a putt, I know exactly which way that ball is rolling. I don't need little flags or what have you all over the ball. But what I do like, I like the TP5. I played that actually on and off for a couple of years. I pick up 1,000 Titleists, so I'm always playing some Pro V1 or Pro V1X, depends what I pull out. But I, again, have tried to change my modus operandi and have taken to just pull in a new TP5. If I, lost one, I pull a new TP5 and go ahead and play it. And I'm actually doing that off the first tee, which, you know what? Where it goes, it goes. I can't worry about it. I think I should be playing the ball I want to be playing, and I buy him and have him sitting there while I'm playing all these found items. It's just, nah. Let's just go ahead and man up and play with the balls we're purchasing. Anyway, so I just, for the new 2021 models, I bought a sleeve of each. The TP5 and the TP5X, both with the Picks. Oh, the point being, what do I like about the Picks thing? It's real plain and simple. It makes it easier for me to find the ball and know it's mine when I find it. I don't have to pick it up. I don't have to look. I don't have to wonder. Nobody else is playing, a ball with a schmutz all over it. If somebody in my group was, I would notice it right away because it's noticeable. Anyway, so that's the point. That's why I happen to I like the TP5. It seems to me to be of the same quality as a Pro V1. I think my TP5s, and this is based on over X number of years, my TP5s for me travel a little further than the Pro V1s do, whether I'm playing a regular or an X. I don't really seem to know the difference. That's why this time I actually went out with the new 2021 models and bought two sleeves, 6 balls, three of each. And I'm going to actually take them out. Maybe I'll play, 9 holes with one, I don't know. I'm going to go out there and fart around and see if I actually even notice a difference. If I don't notice a difference, I will probably go with the X, which is the harder version. If I don't notice a difference when I'm putting or I don't care, I won't notice a difference on irons, I don't think. Maybe on wedges, but I don't know whether I notice much of a difference on the long clubs. That's why I will have to try and find out. I may not notice anything at all, and I may go, whoa, now there's a difference. But all things being equal, I would go with the longer, which would be the harder one if I can't figure out any difference. So I'll keep you all updated on that. We'll see how that works out. Although at this point it's going to be a pretty long update because, like I said, the weather's going to be crappy this weekend. It's actually supposed to be nice-ish next week. Maybe I will grab a time and grab a guy or two and get out during the week next week. But the season is short. The sun is coming down on it for me. So I'll try to get out, and I don't know how much of a testing I'll be able to do this weekend in my 25-mile-an-hour east wind. That's going to be a hoot. Anyway, okay, moving along because I really said I was going to shorten this, and I'm kind of sort of blowing that whole thing. I was talking about the rangefinder before. I'm very excited. I read an article. It was talking about rangefinders originally and saying how rangefinders were originally dismissed as unnecessary. Oh, that's what I was talking about. When they come up with these statements in articles and stuff, rangefinders were dismissed as unnecessary. You out of your mind, my friend, or whoever you are that wrote this story. Those were the best things since sliced bread. I remember when they came out. My new rangefinder, my old rangefinder, I think I looked on the side of it. It's from, get ready for this one, my original Bushnell Yardage Pro. The date of manufacture was sometime in 2005. That means I've been carrying this puppy around for about 16 or so years. I want to talk about your outdated electronic technology. That's me, Mr. Outdated, but I love it. Rangefinders dismissed as unnecessary. By who? I couldn't wait. I was so happy when please. Yardage, I gotta go find a yardage marker. What a pain in the neck. You could never tell where the flag was. Where I play, it's not like they give you a green book every day. The flag is here, or there. I didn't play them kind of courses. So it was always, numbers and ciphering and figuring and guessing. Oh, I love that. Boom, here's what it is to the flag. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. So they look for trouble. Dismissed as unnecessary, crazy. And then one thing real quick, I guess. Two things real quick, okay, because this will explain the last thing. Anyway, first time, I stumbled across an article. Tee times versus roll-ups threaten to tear golf apart. I'm like, what on earth are they talking about? And I started reading this article, and basically they're going on about at private clubs. Can you just drive up and play golf, as you can do at some clubs, I guess private clubs, most of them? Can you not? As opposed to that's how it used to be, and now they're actually having members, make tee times. Because we all know we're fighting to get people's attention, and people have a lot going on, etc., so on and so forth. Okay, so tee times versus roll-ups. When all is said and done, I'm guessing the vast majority of the people have X amount of time to devote to our lovely game, our wonderful game. And I know I myself the places I roll up at, you wouldn't, necessarily be able to get out unless it was Lido, which everybody makes fake times because it's run by the town of Hempstead, and they don't have to bother showing up. And they were telling me the other day all the different names of the tee times that they find people use, Dick Hertz and, I won't go on with the bunches of others, but you get the idea. There's no penalty if you don't show up. So evidently Lido, you can kind of just go ahead and, if you don't mind the goose crap, you can go ahead and walk on and just roll up as the case would be. But you sure as hell can't do that. You can't do that at Bethpage or at Eisenhower and expect to just walk out. You may get lucky on occasion, but the odds, especially at Bethpage, are slim and none at this point. It's just those times just nowhere to be found. And you know, people are either going to show up because they're going to charge you if you don't. So anyhow, but it's what tea time versus roll-ups threaten to tear golf apart. Oh no! Well, of course not. It just annoys me. Anyway, that's it. It annoys me. What can I tell you? The hyperbole, the silliness. Oh, the pathos. Anyway, I guess on that note, as I did promise, we'll take, last item real quick. This one. Here we go. I know I mentioned before about my niece combed her hair, got, X number of views on YouTube. Here's one I stumbled across. This was the title. It just pops up, you get 15 YouTube things on your screen, 15 different videos. On the golf course, bra or no bra? And I stopped and I was like, say what? And for a moment I actually stopped, and I know that we have had this discussion before about women playing golf and boobs. Do they or do they not get in the way? And there was a whole thing with Ben Wright. We've been through that. We're not going to go through all that again. But I stopped and I said, this is interesting. Somebody's actually decided to tackle the question. So I clicked on the link. And up pops a perfectly lovely woman. And I'm waiting to hear, this deep introspective, or maybe there was some research done, where they different swings and, use the computers with the dots and the balls all over the body. And it was none of the above. It was a woman who had a nice, bodacious set of tatas, and she's standing over, a tee shot. With a sleeveless shirt on and a skirt, cute enough little outfit, I guess. And she goes, okay, and she takes a swing. And she's not a good golfer. She's evidently a newbie. And, like barely, I'm sure, not like they followed the ball, but you could see the swing. The ball wasn't going anywhere. And then she proceeds to remove the bra. And then she takes the club and then takes another swing. First time she misses it. It just completely caught the ball rolled, dribbled. Literally, if it was going to go left, it went straight. About 3 feet. And she put it up and teed it again and again. Hit the ball, I don't know, maybe 20 yards. This was with a driver. And that was it. That was the video. I was like, okay, that certainly does not answer the question. Although, if I remember correctly, I didn't go back and watch it again because who cares? But I do kind of notice that before she took the sports bra off, her arms, when she got into her stance, her boobs were in between her arms. And when she removed the bra and she then took her stance again, they were decidedly underneath her arms. So I don't know how that does or doesn't affect the swing, but they definitely were in 2 different positions. So there you go. That's the takeaway. There you have it. And I guess on that note, as they say, on that note, we're almost at regular time anyway. I'm so sorry. I just enjoy this. Anyway, on that note, find us everywhere. Instagram, In the Hole Podcast. Twitter, In the Hole Pod. Facebook, In the Hole. Our website, intheholepodcast.com. Email me. Of course, email me. I love to hear from you guys. Suggestions, thoughts, anything you'd like to share. Post-traumatic stress disorder over your putting technique. We're here for you. We're at 4, F-O-R-E, at intheholepodcast.com. And a shout out to our sound engineer, Chris Pummel, and his sidekick, Victor. Here's to you guys, making me sound fabulous. And I guess that's kind of sort of it. I'll be brief. No, I'll be brief. No, that was the old joke, the 2 women that go away together. For the first time, they get to the hotel room, and I'm not even going to bother. It's not important. That's it. It's been great. I wish it could go on, but I guess it's time to call it quits for the evening. So be safe, get your vaccines. Don't get me started on that. I'm not going to get started on that. Just please, please, please get the damn vaccines. We love you. Stay safe. Be smart. Until next time, peace out. And there you have it.